Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is lying in bed at 2 in the morning, absolutely drenched in sweat, staring at a ceiling fan that is doing absolutely nothing. That someone might be you. And if it is, I have something for you tonight that is going to change everything. Because I'm going to show you a cheap fan hack, and I mean dirt cheap, under $3, that can make your hot, sticky, suffocating bedroom feel up to 10 degrees cooler. No air conditioner, no expensive gadget, no electrician. Just a regular fan, a couple of simple household items, and a little bit of science that Big HVAC does not want you to figure out. I'm going to walk you through the exact setup, the exact placement, and every small adjustment that turns a useless breeze into genuine, powerful cooling relief. And here's what I need you to do right now. Do not skip any part of this video. Every single step matters. Miss one thing and the hack doesn't work nearly as well. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. We post home hacks, chemistry tricks, and budget solutions that actually work. And this one is going to be one of your all-time favorites. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about why hot, humid nights are so absolutely brutal. Here's the thing most people don't understand. It's not just the heat that makes you miserable, it's the humidity. Your body cools itself through sweat. When sweat evaporates off your skin, it pulls heat away from your body and you feel cooler. That's basic biology. But here's the problem. When the air around you is already loaded with moisture, already saturated with humidity, your sweat cannot evaporate properly. It just sits there on your skin. You feel wet, sticky, heavy, and burning hot, even if the actual temperature isn't extreme. Now, a regular fan, what does it do? It moves air. And moving air can feel nice. But if that air is hot and humid, you're basically just blowing hot soup at yourself. You're not actually cooling anything down at the molecular level. You're just stirring misery around the room. That's why fans feel useless on the worst nights. And that's exactly what this hack fixes. By changing what that air carries, by giving it something to work with, we trigger real evaporative cooling that actually drops the feel of the temperature. And the difference is dramatic. Here's what you're going to need. One regular electric fan, any size works, but a box fan or a medium desk fan gives the best results. You already have this. One shallow tray, baking pan, or bowl, already in your kitchen, 2 or 3 plastic bottles filled with water and frozen overnight. Cost, essentially zero if you have a freezer. Optional but powerful. 1 to 2 tablespoons of salt added to the water before you freeze it. Salt lowers the freezing point slightly and makes the ice last longer and stay colder. That bag of salt in your kitchen, it just became your secret weapon. Optional upgrade, a thin, damp towel or cloth. We're going to use this in one of the advanced variations. Total cost if you need to buy anything from scratch. Under $2, maybe $3 if you grab an extra tray. That's it. No fancy equipment, no subscriptions, no ongoing costs, just water, ice, and the fan you already own. Now let me give you the science, because once you understand this, the whole thing clicks. Normal fans create airflow. Airflow increases the rate at which moisture evaporates from your skin. That evaporation pulls heat out of your body. That's the mechanism. But in a humid room, the air is already full of water vapor, so there's no room for more. Evaporation slows down, cooling slows down. You suffer. Here's what we're doing differently. When we place ice in front of the fan, 2 things happen. First, the air that passes over the ice gets chilled directly. You're blowing cold air. That already helps. But second, and this is the part that makes it powerful, the ice also slightly dehumidifies the air it chills. Cold air holds less moisture. As the air cools, passing over the ice, some of that humidity condenses. It sticks to the cold surface instead of floating in the air. The air that comes out the other side of the fan is cooler and slightly drier. Drier air allows your sweat to evaporate faster. Faster evaporation means your body's natural cooling system actually works again. You feel the difference within minutes. This is the same basic principle behind how commercial evaporative coolers, swamp coolers, well, are to work. Except we're doing it for under $3. And the salt in the ice? Salt water has a lower freezing point, which means the ice maintains a colder surface temperature for longer. More chilling, longer duration, better results, simple chemistry. Now here is the full setup, and I want you to follow this exactly for maximum effect. Take your frozen bottles and place them in your shallow tray or bowl. The tray catches the condensation water as the ice melts. You don't want a puddle on your floor. Place the tray directly in front of your fan. Position it so the air from the fan blows directly across the top of the ice bottles. Not above them, not to the side, directly across. The air needs to travel over that cold surface to pick up the chilling effect. Now, fan placement is critical. If you're cooling a bedroom, place the fan on a nightstand, dresser, or raised surface at body level. You want that cooled air blowing toward where your body actually is. Not at the ceiling, not at the floor. For a larger living room, place the fan near a window that's open slightly on the opposite side of the room. The slight cross draft helps pull the cooled air through the space more efficiently. Now for the advanced version, that adds an extra layer of cooling. Take your thin damp towel or cloth and drape it loosely over the front grill of the fan, not completely blocking the airflow, just loosely draped. As the air passes through the damp cloth, it picks up a tiny amount of moisture that then evaporates on your skin. Combined with the ice cooling, this creates a layered effect that feels significantly colder than ice alone. Turn the fan on medium speed, not the highest setting. Here's why. High speed pushes air too fast across the ice to pick up the full cooling effect. Medium speed gives the air just enough contact time with the cold surface to be meaningfully chilled before it reaches you. This is the part most people get wrong when they try a basic version of this hack, and it doesn't work well. Speed matters. Medium is your sweet spot. Now sit in the direct airflow path, within 6 to 8 feet of the fan for maximum effect. If you're using this for sleep, position the fan at the foot of your bed angled slightly upward so the cooled air flows across your body. That's the setup. It takes less than 5 minutes. And the results? Within the first 5 minutes of running this setup, you will feel a noticeable difference. The air hitting your skin will feel meaningfully cooler and less sticky. By the 10-minute mark, the space immediately around you, your personal comfort zone, will feel dramatically more comfortable. Temperature readings in the direct airflow path have shown drops of 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit in the air temperature. That's not 10 degrees cooler on the other side of the room. That's 10 degrees cooler in the air blowing directly onto you, which is exactly where it counts. The sweat on your skin starts to evaporate properly again, your body's natural cooling kicks back in, you stop feeling like you're melting, and the combined effect, chilled air plus slightly drier air plus your body's evaporative cooling working again, creates comfort that a plain fan simply cannot give you. One set of frozen bottles typically lasts between 2 and 4 hours, depending on room temperature. If you freeze 2 sets and swap them at the midpoint, you've got a full night of comfort. Freeze your bottles every day, and this costs you nothing ongoing. Just the electricity to run the fan, which is a fraction of what an air conditioner costs to operate. A few safety notes and pro tips before we close. Always use a tray to catch the meltwater. Water near electrical outlets or fan cords is a hazard. Set up your tray away from power strips and wall sockets. Do not wrap the cloth too tightly around the fan. Restricted airflow can cause a motor to overheat over time. Loosely draped, just a light covering. Do not use this setup if your fan is old, sparking, or making grinding noises. Get your fan in good working condition first. Best fan types for this hack. Box fans and desk fans work extremely well. Tower fans work too, though positioning the ice tray takes a little more creativity. Ceiling fans, unfortunately, do not work with this setup. They're too far from the ice to pick up the cooling effect. Extra tip. If you have a second fan in the house, point one out of a window to push hot air out of the room, and use the ice setup fan to pull cooler air in from the other side. This ventilation trick combined with the ice hack amplifies the cooling effect significantly. Final tip, adding a few drops of peppermint extract or eucalyptus oil to the damp cloth creates a mild cooling sensation when the air hits your skin. Peppermint has a natural cooling sensory effect. This is optional, but it adds a genuinely pleasant layer to the experience and makes the cool air feel even colder than it actually is. It's a cheap trick, but it works. So let's recap what we just built together. Under $3, a shallow tray, a few frozen bottles, a damp cloth, and a fan you already own. Set it up correctly. Ice in the tray, fan blowing directly across it at medium speed, fan at body level, positioned for your space. The result, up to 10 degrees cooler in the air hitting your body, meaningfully lower humidity in that airflow, and your natural cooling mechanism working again. Hot, humid nights that used to be completely unbearable, now manageable, comfortable, actually restful. This is not a miracle, it's just physics. And now you know how to use it. If this video helped you, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps more people find this hack who need it. Drop your question or your result in the comments below. I rate every single one, and I want to know how well this worked for you. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because next video we're covering another cheap home hack that the appliance industry really doesn't want going viral. Trust me, you want to be here for that one. Stay cool. I'll see you in the next one.